championships. OZone is my witness. An icon like icons. Keep your eyes on, don't miss this. Wait, what is this? A lot of pressure on me, but you don't know me. Man, I asked for this, and so I laugh at this. It's the fourth quarter, hard to come back from this. But I love this game. You gon' know the name. It's OZone Sports Facts. Let's layer the flame.
Hello, everybody. Once again, live from Koreatown, it is the Brothers Miller, and you're in the OZone. I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother from the same mother for several years now, decades even. We're on level 5, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Icons, as you heard in the song. Terry Miller, how you feeling?
Great, and I heard that it's action-packed, and you ready to jump right in.
Let's get it out! In the words of Mills Lane, because we got a big fight this weekend. We got a big fight next weekend. Right now, we have a conversation that's coming up for you and you and you and you and you. And it is with the champ, former world champion, welterweight champion, Showtime Shawn Porter is joining us with his father, Kenny Porter, to talk about the big fight this weekend against Danny Swift Garcia. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? We got Major League Baseball. We got a lot of options. We got a lot of action. We're ready to go. And here we are in the OZone. First and foremost, T-Bone Aroni, who do you like this weekend in the fight?
It's so tough, I can't even really call it. I need to hear from the champ, the ex-champ, to figure it out. I need to be persuaded.
Wow. All right, well, here it is. Let's get him on the line. Everybody, welcome the man of the hour. This weekend, he's got a giant fight on Premier Boxing Championships on Showtime. It is the man known as Showtime Shawn Porter, the one-time welterweight champion who's trying to get his belt back. Shawn, how you feeling?
I'm trying to get this belt so I can get in there and get in the studio with y'all.
You don't need the belt to get in the studio with us. You know better than that.
Yeah, you come to us whenever. I just want you to come because I want to hold it. That's all. Yep. I want you to come with it because I want to hold it.
Everybody want to hold it. I'm gonna probably charge. I'm gonna make money. Everybody want to hold the belts. I let them hold all of them in the past for free. This one I might have to charge.
Hey, right? Listen, you work hard enough for it. I've been watching you, man, on the clips and everything that they're doing. You look good, brother. You look ready to go.
I worked hard in camp, and I feel very good from a mental standpoint. So I feel like as long as I do all the right things, as I prepared to do. This fight is mine. This belt is mine.
That's it. That's the right way to go. Well, I got a couple questions for you. I ain't gonna wear you out, but I got a couple questions for you. And we also we let the fans know that you were coming on, so we have a couple questions for you that people left voicemails. But first off, I just want to say, you know what? I found that regardless of what people may say, you are one of the most feared fighters in the welterweight division because nobody seems to want to fight you.
I was in boxing.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, in boxing.
Crazy, man. I'm hearing it all, man. I'm hearing that a lot of people out there don't like my style. I'm hearing a lot of people out there saying that, I'm ducking this or that guy or don't want to fight this or that guy. It don't matter, man. I'm in this sport to create a legacy and something that's gonna be long lasting, just like all the guys that came before me, Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Duran, Ali,
greats.
All the greats. I'm here to be a part of that. I'm not here to be the greatest. I'm here to be a part of that. And a part of that, man, is knocking down who they put in front of me. And right now, I got Danny Garcia in front of me.
That's it. It's time to show him the Porter way.
Showing them the Porter way.
That's it.
It's hard work being in there with me, man. If I'm not attacking you from a physical standpoint, I'm attacking you from a psychological, mental standpoint. So. A lot's got to give when you in the ring with Shawn Porter, man, and not many people have what it takes to. And I've run up against a couple guys that could weather the storm, and Kell Brook and Keith Thurman, but you have those moments so that you're more prepared for a moment like this. This is a world championship title fight for me, and it's a goal of mine to win this WBC title. So I'm ready to put it all on the line.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that actually leads me to my next point is that now the man that's in front of you, Danny Garcia, is accomplished as well. Both of you guys are in a position where you're chasing the same thing to re-become champions. And this belt is up for grabs. I feel like it's yours as much as it is his. And we're going to see something because what I personally feel like the reason people don't want to fight you is you don't have any quit in you. I've watched probably all of your fights. I've never seen you quit. I've never seen you.
Not even one round.
That's what I mean. I've always seen maximum effort. You don't really see that often in boxing, except for like with maybe the tiny guys that, like the 100-pound guys, 110-pound guys, who for some reason seems like it's a little bit easier to do. But even, I'm not trying to negate anybody. Your effort is always there, and it makes me believe that your training is there both mentally and physically. When you get a guy and you can fight him in the phone booth or from a distance, which do you prefer?
It depends, man. I can be successful from both sides. Some guys, most guys can't handle the phone booth pressure. They can't handle the phone booth fight. So a lot of times I do prefer that fight because I know that that's a fight that not only am I going to win in that moment in the action, but I'm going to win over the course of the round because not many guys are willing to go there. So I think that for me is going to be a big component to this fight is, understanding that, pressure is something that, it bursts pipes and, even the strongest pipes, in only a matter of time. I think the same with this fight, man. It's only a matter of time for me.
Hey,
Awesome.
Shawn, this is Terry. I want to ask you, now, when you go into a fight like this, do you go in looking for a knockout or what's the strategy overall?
I really want to build up to it. I think, I'm at a point in my career where it's not about me going in there mugging a guy for 12 rounds, getting a decision. I think that even for myself, I think that is not as professional and prolific as being able to hit a guy from the outside and outbox him and make him miss and make it evident that he can't hit me. And that's what I want to do this fight. I want to dominate Danny, but I want to dominate Danny on all bases of boxing, not just from a physicality standpoint, but from all bases of boxing. Because when you talk about who's the better man, I don't want it to be just because Shawn Porter pressured this guy and made him quit. I want it to be because he couldn't hit Shawn and he got frustrated. He couldn't catch Shawn and he got frustrated. I really want all of it to come out in this fight. I don't think that's something that I've been able to do in every fight in any of my fights in the past is show all of my skills, both from the outside and in the inside. That's why I want to do this fight.
So with that, you sound very determined, and I love that. And I'm a believer. You made me a believer watching several fights. I was actually live. It was the first time I ever watched you fight live was with Kell Brook. And in that fight, you were determined and relentless. It was very interesting. I feel like, honestly, your grit may be your strongest attribute, and that's saying a lot in a field of people who are warriors. Now, we have a couple questions from the fans. I want to play one of them one at a time so you can answer them. Here we go.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Ricardo Noriega, calling in a question for Shawn Porter regarding his upcoming fight against Danny Garcia. If and when he defeats Danny Garcia this weekend, what is he planning on doing, and who is he going to challenge for the belt? Either move up to Keith Thurman and challenge for his belt, or maybe move down to challenge Terrence Crawford for his belt. Seeing which of the two he wants that much more. Thanks. Bye.
People want to know about what happens after the fight already, man. Nobody even let you focus on getting this dub. They want to know what's next. Is it a rematch, or what are you looking at?
They've been asking that for a while now. I'm not sure. I really did feel like, the fight with Keith Thurman, not that it was behind me, but I thought it might come after the fight with Errol Spence. I know that that's something everybody wants to see, something that I want to do, but I know that Keith is going to be here in New York. If Keith has anything to say after the fight, we'll probably take a listen to it. But other than that, if Keith's not saying nothing directly after this fight, we'll probably move forward and go after Errol Spence. I think that fight is the fight that makes sense for me after this one anyway.
Ooh, wait, boy, you guys.
And you guys are good friends too, right?
Yeah.
But you need that belt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Keith and I have been friends for a while. Actually growing up in the sport a little bit, knowing each other and, share camps and stuff like that together. But then on the other end of it, Errol Spence found out that he liked to play basketball. So when he comes to Vegas from time to time, we play ball. And even the same with Terrence. The last time he came to Vegas, I ended up taking him to play ball.
Now we got another caller that called in. Here's another question for you, Shawn. There's a caller called in right now.
Yo, Omar, got a question for Shawn. Is this real bad blood that he has for Danny Garcia? I feel it. I think it is. It's going to be a big fight this weekend. Just want to know how my man's feeling. I'm ready for Saturday night. Man, it's gonna be a big fight. We'll see what's up. Thank you. My name's Ray.
All of us are friends, but we understand this is a business. We out for our lives, make money and support our families and so on and so forth. So we always put that to the side.
That's, man, and it's great too, because I wish you guys somebody would gain some weight, because in real life, this 47 division is stacked. And I'm a fan of so many people. I mean, I know you personally the best out of everybody, and I'm always rooting for you. But there's so many fights I want to see and not see, because there's guys I don't want to see fight each other.
Right.
Because I wanted to be victors,
I've heard that before, man. The best way I put it is, hey, if you're a fan of me, you're a fan of him. It don't matter. Just come, enjoy the fight, enjoy what happens. And at the end of the day, you'll probably be a fan of me if you weren't before. You'll be a fan of him if you weren't before.
I don't know how anybody could watch you and not be a fan of you after a fight in real life. If you're a sports fan, because you got so much heart.
I get that a lot. Yeah, I get that a lot. I
Real
got
talk.
my dad right here. My dad's right here.
Oh, good. Kenny Porter, the author of the Porter Way. How you doing, Kenny?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, life is good. We're just over here speaking with your son, man, talking about pumping up this fight and where to go from here. And I actually have a question for you. We got a couple more callers that called in that want to leave questions, that left questions that want to get answered. But coming up, talking about the fight this Saturday at Barclays Center against Danny Swift Garcia. One thing that I want to talk to you about real quick, Kenny, is I just saw Mauricio Sulaiman from the WBC just put out something that I thought was crazy, which is talking about banning fathers from corners. I wanted to get your take, because that's I was really surprised to see him support something like that, because we've seen so many great father-son duos throughout the sport, throughout the history of the sport. And, I mean, obviously nobody wants anybody to get hurt, but I guess the idea is when a father is out there with his son, the son will push himself past where he normally would and potentially into harm's way.
Well, that's funny. No. That was funny to me. Now, the first I heard of this was today when one of the reporters asked me about it, and I had no information in regards to it, and I still haven't read any at this point.
Okay.
But I actually saw a video where the question was brought to Shawn, and I thought he answered it superbly when he said, boxing has always been a family sport. You've always sat down with your grandfather and watched boxing. You've sat down with your father and watched boxing. Everybody rushed to the TV to watch boxing. It was family and friends. So the same thing has carried over, as Shawn alluded to earlier in his interview. The same thing is carried over when it came, a father was taking his son, giving his son his first boxing lessons with the gloves at home.
Yep.
This has just been a family thing. So it's never going to stop. You can't stop it. So, this is just, you'll be stopping somebody's uncle from training a nephew, or a brother from training a little brother, or again, a grandfather training a grandson, whatever it is. So I don't think that would, I don't think that's going to fly. And then on a personal level for me, obviously training my son, this is the type of situation that most people don't realize and understand. Even though I train my son, I've trained hundreds of other boxers, and he can attest to that because he's met them. He's spent time with those guys in his life. And they spent the night at my house, and they did so many things with us, and we did so much traveling together. But the closest thing that a trainer can be to a young boy, a young athlete, a young boxer, a young fighter, the closest thing he can be to him is a father. And so we all aspire to be father figures to these kids so that we can help them move on to other aspects of their life.
And manhood. So
this is right, exactly. So this is what we go there to do. This is when we take on a child. We want to be that close to them as a father to a son. So when you actually have a son that's boxing, there's no one's closer. So, it's really they're really, they would be doing boxing a disservice if they try to do that. I don't think the other sanctioning bodies, IBF, the WBA, WBO, I don't think that they would join in line with that.
Hey, Omar, you know what's crazy? There would be no Mauricio Suleiman without his dad.
That's what and Mauricio actually, Mauricio is the homie. I want to talk to him about it. I want to see him in person and speak to him about it because I was just thinking somebody put under the thing after the post I read, somebody put, man, how did this guy become the WBC? And it was a genuine question.
Right.
They were like, how did he become the commissioner of the WBC with thoughts like this? And I was thinking to myself, how ironic is that? He became the commissioner because his dad was a commissioner and founded the thing. Yeah.
Nepotism at its finest.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know. I think in all sports, you summed it up perfectly, Kenny, because in all sports, I'm here with my big brother right now who taught me how to play countless sports. And that's what you do. And especially when you're talking about so much in several ethnic communities is about a father-son bond, either that is established or that is missing. And to take anything more out of that, to detract from that, I don't think is good for society overall. Forget just boxing. Let's actually go, community wide. That bonding is critical, whether or not you end up becoming a champion or, you just box just to learn self-defense and learn discipline.
True.
I'm in total agreement with you. It expands much further than the boxing part of it.
Yeah.
Because as you just said, it brings on a bonding that, you want to have in every aspect of a child's life. You want to bond with them on their education. You want to bond with them on religion. You want to bond with them with family. You want to bond with them in sports. You want to bond with them in music. Any way that you can reach a child, you want to do that. And you're going to take one of those away from us?
I just don't I don't even understand.
It sounds like,
and again, like you said, there would never be him without his dad.
Right.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's something that would cannibalize the sport.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, we got that. And then the last piece that goes along with that is based on those Instagram videos I seen of you taking body shots from Shawn without the vest on. I think you're the one that's in more danger than he is, to be honest. I don't know what's wrong with you, Kenny. I seen Shawn letting go on your abs. Man, I know you do a 10,000 sit-ups a day, but come on, man. I need you to be careful out there.
It's only 1,000 a day. No. But I'm going to say this right now in front of him. I know you was letting up on me last time. I could tell.
Hey, man, those Instagram posts went viral, dude. Everybody was looking at those posts. Those posts got so much attention.
I was imploring him to bring it, but he was lighting that up on me. I think he was thinking, you know what? I'm thinking about Danny, and I don't want to break this dude's rib.
Could be. And he loves you. He want to make sure that you're around for more. Oh, we got one last question. Hold on a second. Somebody just called in.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Dennis. Got a question for Shawn. Do you feel like the Barclays Center is becoming the new MSG of New York for big boxing matches? Also, we know Danny's a good fighter, but do you feel like he's a little overrated based on the past people he's fought besides Thurman? Besides that, good luck. Hope to see you in this weekend.
So that's what Dennis wants to know. Dennis wants to hear what's your take on fighting in Brooklyn, the atmosphere in Brooklyn, and then what's your take on Danny and his record? Is there any intimidation?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. For a long time, all the greats have performed at Madison Square Garden. I've never even stepped foot in the Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
And the even crazier part about that is never had a thought to do so. Brooklyn boxing has just been lighting it up on TV, around the neighborhood. Anytime there's a fight in Brooklyn, everybody's coming out to it. And y'all been there before, man. The energy is electric.
Yeah.
You could feel it from the moment you step in to the moment you leave. And I really, outside of wanting to fight in Vegas, there's really nowhere else I'd rather fight. Brooklyn is just it for me, man. It's exactly what I need. I need people to be loud. I need the building to be full, and I get that every time I come here.
And real people.
Yeah.
I love that.
Real fans.
Yeah,
real fans.
Exactly.
And it makes it fun, And then, from Danny's standpoint, I don't necessarily think that Danny is overrated. I think there's some things that Danny is not capable of doing that has flown under the radar just based on the guys he's fought in the past. I think you've seen some things that have come to light in his previous fights, most previous fights. And I think you'll see it again Saturday night. You'll see, that he is just not ready for everything that I have to bring in the ring.
I have a question for you. that is a parting shot. You can tell me if it was or not. Is being from Ohio. Your man King James just left the state. He came.
Yeah.
He came to me. He came to my hometown.
He out
He
there
came
with
to the
y'all.
La La.
Yeah.
It's wine, women, and song out here. Now I'm just trying to find out with coming from Ohio, what's your sentiment as far as, you know, how do you feel about Bron joining the Lake Show? I know it's completely off topic for the fight this weekend, but I just want to get your take.
So many emotions just right now have come into play. I mean, let's talk about him in a purple jersey and a yellow jersey. It ain't gonna make sense for a little while.
You're gonna have to get used to it for sure. It's gonna be something different. I just saw it on the video game and it did look weird.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people have done it on the game. You could create your own team. I'm sure they've done it on the game, but man, I think that's gonna probably be the wildest part. But from a real standpoint, this is what I do. You guys know me. You know that I travel around the country now, even speaking to young kids and young adults, and have especially done it back home in Northeast Ohio because it's really, really important to me to do it back home in Ohio. I always told kids, and I still tell them now, it's okay to leave home. It's okay to go out and figure out what's out there. You can always come home, but if you want to be successful, sometimes it takes you leaving where you love to be in order to become successful. And it doesn't mean that you can't come home, you know? So the blessed part about it is, you know, we had a gentleman who was an unbelievable athlete at a very young age come to our team. He left our team, left our city, and then he came back and he did what he said he was going to do. And I think because he was able to come back and be successful, I think this time around it's a lot more acceptable for everyone back home in Northeast Ohio to let him go. But heck yeah, man, it's going to be some days where we wish he was back with us, and, you know, some hard days for us ahead where, you know, at one point we were leading the division, and, you know, now it's going to be tough to be up there now. But I think we got a good future in the Cavs and even my Browns. You know, you
hey, the Browns, I've been seeing them out there,
yeah,
and I like to see that you travel for your teams. I love that. I seen you at the World Series a couple years ago.
Yeah, you talking to Shawn Porter. You can't skip over the Browns.
The Browns or the Indians. Well, you know, we go all sports over here.
Yeah, and Hugh Jackson's a good coach.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen. So I think the Browns going to kick this year off for us. I think Indians will finish up strong. And I think the Browns will do some great things and lead us into a good calf season.
Well, like I said, like T just said, you know what? Hugh Jackson's a good coach, man. I'm a Raider fan, even though we're going through a divorce because now they're trying to move out to Vegas. But but at the same time, when he was the coach of the Raiders, he had them off to like a 6-2 start before guys got hurt. Darren McFadden got hurt. A couple of different guys got hurt.
Right. And
that was the only thing that stopped him, and he kind of got the raw deal, and they got him out of there. I'm happy to see him because he went back to Cincinnati, I think it was, and then jumped up to Cleveland. And he does a lot of, like Kenny, like what you're talking about. He does a lot of working boys into men and understanding that mentoring component. And I love to hear that you're doing that all over the place, Shawn.
Most definitely. So I do. I think that this is going to be an interesting season for the Browns. I think more than anything, he has a great cast behind him, and it's up to him to lead these young men. And like you said before, man, we spoke earlier about you having an event out there.
Yeah.
And anytime after this fight, man, anytime you need me, I am definitely of assistance. I love doing it, and I want to do it, and I'm capable.
You sure are. Well, hey, man, your heart is in the right place. You're blessed.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's the Porter way, in my opinion.
Right.
His father, son, his family, and his giving back to the community. I just want to thank both of you guys for coming on the OZone, man. If there's anything else you want to say, lay it on us. Otherwise, it's a real blessing to have you here. We're going to be praying for you before the fight. Go in there and do your work, and we can't wait to hold the belt.
Hey, that's it, man. Listen, the OZone. I just want to get in the OZone. That's it.
We got a chair for you, baby.
OZone. I need to experience that.
Long as you don't let off on my abs like you do on Pops, we good.
I ain't even gonna disrespect, man, but I'm not sure you ready for that. Not sure you ready for that.
We gotta get a sit-up game up, huh?
No disrespect, brother. You're a professional. No disrespect taken. All right,
100%.
You are absolutely right. I am not ready.
Well, hey, bless y'all, man. We'll see you soon with that belt.
All right,
too,
fellas.
man.
God bless.
God bless.
We go.
Yo.
My question is, Where we gonna meet up at next? Paris, France,
Right.
China, Egypt. Where you just let me know where y'all at. We'll
Man, this is what we got to figure out. I mean, after I don't even know if Shawn gonna be able to walk around the East Coast after he go pick up this belt from him. So we probably have to keep it West. But what I will tell you is 30 days from now, your boy turns 40 years old, and I'm trying to figure out where the shindig is gonna be. But you for sure will be on the guest list. I can tell you that much.
30 days.
30 days, October 7th.
You know what Run DMC said, right?
What's that?
If you find that you don't like my ways, you can send me back in 30 days.
All right, now. Well, here it is. I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all this weekend. We'll see y'all, and I'll see you when you come back out west with the belt.
Good deal. Talk to you soon.
All right, now. All up.
All right, now.
Boy, if you know the Porters, you know that they are solid cats, man. We've gotten to hang out with them several times all over the world, and they're solid individuals.
They're a solid unit.
Yeah, and they're a solid unit.
That's the thing I really love
really
about
good
them.
People.
Yeah, they're good people. Mm-hmm. And you know what I want to do is I want to look and see who's on the undercard of that fight, because I don't know if Showtime lately. I have to be honest. Lately, Showtime's been putting together great cards.
I think they're doing better than HBO this year.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Ooh,
they've been very aggressive.
HBO signs my check, so I can't go that far.
Silence. Silence.
But actually, I know you're going to change your tune, because next Saturday, HBO has a fight that you can't wait to happen.
Give me
my belt. With the pound for pound.
With the pound for pound.
Come on, man. Anywho, yeah, that was Showtime Shawn Porter and his father, Kenny Porter, talking about the Porter way, top to bottom. It's going to be a great fight this weekend. Tune in live on Showtime.
I'm taking Shawn.
Premier Boxing Champions. And you're taking Shawn. Danny's good, man. And
Danny is good. He's fundamentally sound, and he's never been off his feet. But one of the things that Shawn brought up a great point, Shawn's a better athlete than he is. And
that pressure is real.
And that pressure is real. And he knows that his athletics superiority can lead him to victory. And
he knows that.
And he knows that. And
that's big. It is. It's big to know that.
Because usually they don't have the connection. You know, you have a guy who's a great athlete and can't actually, box, or, vice versa. He has it all.
Yep.
And he wants to show it, which is cool. That's why he's Showtime.
That's why he's Showtime. And he's fighting on Showtime, so it's all good. Well, we blessed you last weekend at the beginning of college football. Do it for the tipper called in, a.k.a. Next Victim. And besides being very upset at Mike Scioscia, which I'm sure he's even more angry about now, he actually gave you guys some great college picks. And he's ready, willing, and able on the line to talk about this weekend's college football. And here he is, ready for the NCAA. Next Victim, live on the OZone, also known as Ace Rothstein. What's going on out there, Victim? You had some nice picks this past weekend for our NCAA college fans. I know you're probably reveling in that victory, especially the LSU over Miami.
Big time.
Big time. How you feeling in the desert?
I'm feeling good, Nice little summer breeze.
Y'all doing with 98, 99?
109. That's what it feels like with the breeze. But
wow.
It's a nice 90. It's a nice 90.
Wow, man, y'all can keep that. I'll keep mine by the beach. Well, we're here. We're talking week 2. You got any specific notes? And then I want to get to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim's, of Orlando, of Carson, of Gardena, of Mike Scioscia, of Artie Moreno. But let's talk college football.
But we digress.
But we digress. No. All Tommy Johning aside, what are you talking about in college football on your slate this weekend?
All right, college football, not too many big games going on this weekend. Last weekend started off with a blast. I think I went 4 out of 5, losing to you, and I owe you a hot nickel piece.
I tried to tell you. Try to tell you, bro.
You know what? Let me tell you real quick. I forgot that UCLA had old punk ass Chip Kelly down there, who's a loser. So
man, people hate
that's
Chip
my
Kelly.
Bad.
You don't see this much. It's kind of happening to Harbaugh right now, but you don't see this much where a guy goes from pros to college and does worse.
And dumps, right. He's just dumping everywhere he goes.
Man.
But, yeah, I owe you a nickel piece for that. But going into this week, a couple of big games. Number 2, Clemson is battling Mississippi State. If folks don't know, that's where Dak Prescott went to, Mississippi State. So Mississippi State is number 18, them Bulldogs. Tough place to play. But like I said all season, I'm going with who? Dabo Sweeney and them Clemson Tigers.
Love
That's who
Clemson.
I roll
Dabo.
with.
It's a great
Next
coach.
big game, we got them Georgia Bulldogs. You know, they for real. They got some NFL players out there. One of them is Nick Chubb, playing for Cleveland right now. They're battling against number 24 South Carolina, the Gamecocks. I'm rolling with them Bulldogs because the Bulldogs is for real. And again, SEC football, I put them
it's hard nose.
last week, hard nose. Last two big games I got, number 17 SC going up to East Palo Alto. And we know how them East Palo Alto boys put hands on fools.
Well, what is it? Shout out to the Bay Area.
Shout out to the Bay Area.
Shout out to Joe Von Parlor.
Easy. This one was tough for me. And, you know, just like last week with the UCLA and Cincinnati, I want to go with the home team, but Stanford plays that solid old school football, not a spread offense, just put 8 in the box, put a quarterback, a fullback, and a tailback, and a receiver, and they're ready to come at you. But I believe in SC this year. I really do. They've been on, you know, probation for some years, but they kept getting talent going in while they were on probation. So I'm going with SC. I'm going with the mighty, mighty Trojans.
Ooh. Dun, dun,
Then we got
dun, 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 dun. Who you got in your last game?
So I got Michigan State versus Arizona Herm Edwards State.
Let me guess, you going MSU?
I love Michigan State. We love Herm, but I gotta go. We love the Herm, but I gotta go with Michigan State. And my last shout out is San Jose Spartans. Our alumni, got to give a shout out to them. Going against Washington State, they gonna get the Cougars gonna put them tags on them, but I'm still rolling with San Jose.
So you can make your record nasty. So you can go 5 for 6 because San Jose's getting pounded. All right, let's get to something that you're passionate about. We speak extensively on the OZone about baseball because we love it. We take our own perspectives from playing baseball and watching baseball for decades and decades. One of the things that we talked about immediately this year when the Angels signed Shohei Ohtani was how it seemed as though they were mismanaging him. And what I've been hearing, what got announced this week was that Shohei Ohtani, the doctors have recommended Tommy John surgery. Now Shohei Ohtani, this is for the listeners. You already know all this. But Shohei Ohtani was super highly recruited from Japan. They paid a crazy posting fee. It was a sweepstakes to get him. He came out and was an impact player from the word go. From the first pitch thrown when the season actually started, not spring training, he was an impact player. Now, everybody's down on how they managed him as far as saying, were they careful enough? We actually believe here on the OZone that they were too careful with him, and that's why he got hurt, not the other way around. I think he's stronger and more durable than they gave him credit for. What was your take as an Angel fan, reading that Shohei Ohtani, Showtime, could potentially be out for all of next season as well with the Tommy John?
Man, I feel sucker punched. And I really do. I feel like, I want to go to and root for another team now because I felt like we had the 2 top players in baseball, 2 of the top 5 players in baseball. He was brought over to do work. He was limited. The kid is 19, 20 years old. So
23. He's 23. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. And to limit him on his playing time is nasty to me. Straight up nasty. With the injury, he's not going to come back if he has the Tommy John. I would like for him to have the second opinion. Because if he, last night he went out the yard twice.
He responded. He responded to that with, "Oh, really? How about this 4 for 4? These 2 bombs, real quick." The guy is a menace to pitching. He's a menace to the league.
Well, what they're saying is that even if he gets Tommy John, he'll still be able to hit next year. The problem is that they're just DHing him. He's one of the fastest players in the game. He has
great range,
strongest
great arm.
And, even if he has to sit out for a year with Tommy John, he's still going to come back even stronger than what he was. He's only 23, but he needs to be on another team, really. That's going to respect the talent that he has. It's the truth.
Man, see, I hear you, Icons, and I'm right there. I'm telling you, I'm right there with jumping bandwagon and going to another squad because I hate to give you credit, but you've been saying this for the longest. You've been saying this for the longest about the Angels and all season about Showtime. And it I don't know what eats me up most. The kid having to possibly have Tommy John surgery, or shit, you being right and me having to give you credit for it.
Both of them are terrible. This is let me tell you, both of them are terrible.
Hello,
they're
welcome
neck and
to my
neck.
world. Hey man, you just watched
double whammy.
Yeah, you just watched this organization work this kid into a devastating injury. I mean, honestly, nowadays we've heard from a physician that told us, the Dr. Don that comes on here, that you don't actually need Tommy John surgery anymore to repair that injury. It can actually be done through PRP. And then he also said that they might be using the wrong ligament to do the Tommy John surgery, which leads to another injury.
More damage.
Yeah, to the ulnar collateral. So, you know what? They just need to actually step back a little bit and maybe reorganize and figure out, because the kid is a phenom and nobody's done anything like this since Babe Ruth. And for some reason, we as Americans feel like we need to fix it or make him better than what he was. And he was already the best player in the world.
Yeah. There's nobody giving you, nobody's giving you 98 and 40 bombs. Nobody.
He has 200, I do believe 237, 247 plate appearances. He has 18 home runs. And they don't let him play against lefties.
Now, if he played every day, he would end up with 500 to 600 at bats for the year. 500 to 600.
He would be 40-40.
And, it would be, he'd be 40-40 with 15 wins. With 15 wins.
With 15 wins, absolutely. So it's nasty. The organization right now is nasty. Man, I hate the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Las Palmas, Los Buena Park,
Fullerton, Newport Beach, Laguna. Well, we hate to get you.
I hate the Fountain Valley. They need to just go ahead and be the Rancho Cucamonga Angels. Right
They already got the Quakes.
They got the Quakes out there.
They got the Quakes. Well, last thing before we go, we got a big fight this weekend where we just had Showtime Shawn Porter on the podcast. He had a great interview. You're gonna love it. Who do you got this weekend? Shawn Porter, Dennis Swift Garcia.
I got to go with Showtime. You know, he's a second timer on the OZone. I believe in him. If he can get to that body work and do some major body work and not go in trying to knock Garcia out, I think that he'll get him probably by the 9th or 10th round.
Wow,
but if it goes to the
you're looking at a stoppage.
Because I think he's hungry. He hasn't fought in a good decent fight in a while. So I think that with this one, it's time. It's on the big stage. He's ready to go. So I'm predicting if it goes to the card, give him 115, 112.
You know what? Honestly, I honestly feel like being truthful about it. Shawn is the type of guy who has a hard time winning on cards because
he kind of smothers his punches, even though they're being effective. You have to have a judge that can recognize the work that's going on with him.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, what we're seeing now, even though we've seen a resurgence in body work, what we're seeing now is that the judge is like a more flashy fighter as opposed to a more blue-collar fighter.
Right.
And Shawn is giving you blue-collar work that needs to be appreciated.
Yes.
That is definitely felt by the opponent.
Right.
Right.
You're going to love the interview.
With Garcia, he has something to prove. Since his last loss was to Keith Thurman, right?
Yeah.
Or did he fight after that?
No.
Okay,
both of them lost to Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shawn's
was controversial.
That was almost like a year. So
I feel like Shawn won against Thurman.
Yeah, and I remember you were adamant about that. I think Tip felt the same way.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That was a tight one.
Yeah.
And after that, that's when his elbow went bonk.
Yeah.
All right, Tipper. Well, we'll see how you do this weekend. Thank you, as always, for being in the OZone.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Oh, don't worry about it. Just,
this guy.
When I'm right, I'm right.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. All right. Out. Oh, man. What a good time on the OZone. I want to slide right into baseball. The Yankees aren't where they need to be. And last night, Lou Severino showed us that, again, he is not a big-time pitcher. I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's Gary Sanchez. What I would like to see is how many of the big-time games that Lou Severino has just botched have been caught by Gary Sanchez. Because he may need a different catcher.
That's true. That's very, very true.
I thought about it this morning.
Because there's no reason for a guy who throws 99 miles an hour
with devastating slide piece,
devastating with a secondary pitch, and then you can't get past the third inning in a big game where they need you.
Every big game, not just in a big game.
Yeah.
Every big game, he gets ripped, and he doesn't even look confident. Like he goes out there looking like, oh well, they're about to give it to me.
Now it would be great to listen to some scouts talk about Gary Sanchez, some of the scouts that are actually in the seat, because sometimes pitchers tip pitches, and sometimes the catchers
tip. Hold on one second. We're finishing a point, and then we're going to jump to you, all right?
All right.
Yeah, sometimes the pitchers tip pitches, and sometimes the catchers do as well, because Gary Sanchez is probably doing something to let hitters know what's coming. Although people probably don't think about that on the looking at a pitcher that might tip his pitches, but Gary Sanchez could be setting up early.
There's a whole bunch of things that could be going on
that he could be doing that could tip. And you're right, because we need to see how many of those big games that
Sanchez caught.
Yeah.
Now, it's heating up. It's the dog days of summer, and I think that, honestly, you're making me come around on the New York Yankees. I'm very disappointed about what I saw. Now, I do believe Aaron Judge comes back and changes the dynamic, but they got to figure out what's going on with Lou Severino. And also, we have a lifelong Yankee fan on the line.
Oh, really?
A first-time caller.
A long-time hater.
Is this Pam's son from the Bronx?
Don't chew my head off.
You're live in the OZone, Pam's son, Randy.
Where's Terry at?
He's right here. And we're talking Yankees. We're talking Yankees. And what we saw last night, and how discouraging that it was. Overall, I mean, we've spoken about it before. Lou Severino, he hasn't shown that he's a big-time pitcher. And what I just offered up is perhaps he hasn't shown he's a big-time pitcher in part because of your man, Gary Sanchez. Because I'd like to know how many of these big games that he's botched that Sanchez has caught. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I mean, Gary was terrible. Like, we're not going to, beat around the bush. He was terrible. But Severino's been bad for about 2 months.
He has.
Sanchez wasn't there for any of that. Like, Austin Romine was behind the plate. And he's terrible with Romine. He's terrible with Sanchez. He'd be terrible with Johnny Bench behind the plate. He's getting rolled.
Wow, Johnny Bench.
I think he's tired. I mean, he pitched, an insane amount of innings last year. He was dominant for the first half, and he's falling off a cliff. I just think he's tired. I think he's done.
I think he's got a little bit of that Chris Sale, how Chris Sale was last year.
I don't think he can take the New York pressure, honestly.
I think it's more of that because actually Severino's a big guy. He's 6'4", 6'5", right?
And his velocity is there, and his balls look great.
They're moving. Pause. But he's moving.
Yeah,
he's moving around.
You can have velocity and all that stuff and not have command. I mean, that's more of an indication of fatigue than velocity. I mean, he's obviously in shape, but to me, it reminds me of, and somebody said this, it reminds me of Cole Hamels 2008, 2009. 2008, Cole Hamels was unbelievable. Cole Hamels was great in 2009, and then in the middle of 2009, he fell off a cliff and was their third pitcher and was getting roped in the World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's a big guy, too.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really rely on velocity, but, I mean, the innings clearly caught up to him. So it's I don't think it's the New York pressure. I think he's tired. I mean, he threw over 200-plus innings last year. And
he strikes guys out, so he throws a lot of pitches.
Right, so he throws a lot of pitches. He's throwing 100 miles per hour in the 8th inning. He needs to learn how to, dial. He needs to be like Verlander back in the day when he would throw 93, 94.
And then dial it up late.
Through 100, right?
Yeah.
He's throwing 100. He's throwing 100 from pitch 1 to pitch 110 every game. You know what I mean?
I honestly feel like those are excuses because Severino has been in big-time situations. That's what they brought him up for, and he is choking on every occasion he's choked.
And then to me, okay, so now we covered that. Sanchez is back. I'm really surprised at the underperformance. I'm underwhelmed by this crop of super prospects that came up that were so good that got them ahead of schedule under Girardi last year that now are actually behind schedule. Now, the Yankees have contended with a lot of injuries. There's been a lot that they've had to contend with of adversity rather. And I personally haven't seen anything from Aaron Boone, not one thing all year that makes me say, ooh, Boone was the right coach.
Yeah, his bullpen management is terrible. I mean, it's like not good. I think he's cost him a couple games. Like, he's done some things that don't make any sense to me. The first game in the Oakland series definitely didn't make any sense to me. And I wanted Girardi gone.
Right.
So, like, I have no problem with Girardi not being there. I'm not totally sold that Boone was the right guy. I think they like his personality and all that stuff. I don't know what happened to Gary. Like, it's not even like Gary, like, with the pass balls. I mean, that's obviously bad, but, like, he's not hitting either.
Yeah. That was always his saving grace, was that he was going to bring the wood regardless.
Yeah, but with a lot of baseball players, that stuff goes hand in hand. We've seen pitchers who had, if they have to shut somebody down, if it goes wrong or goes south for them, they can't bounce back. Gary Sanchez seems like it's tied into his performance at the plate, because behind the plate he's terrible, and also he's not even batting 200.
No, he's not hitting at all. And so you think he may be the guy that's actually wilting under the pressure of the New York spotlight more so than Sevy.
Now I was telling Noah that they need to move him to first base and get him from behind the dish, because he's going to cost you more games than he's going to win you with those 25, 30 home runs that he might hit.
Especially if he's giving you 30 pass balls.
Yeah, the problem with Gary when he hits too, he's not hitting the ball in the air anymore. Like, he hits the crap out of the ball, but it's like on the ground.
And then he doesn't want to run the ball out.
Killing worms.
Right. And it's like, if you hit the ball in the air, like, those are home runs basically. And, like, for whatever reason, he's like, all of them go on the ground now. And, like, it's the majors. They're going to make those plays. You know what I mean? Like, you can hit it as hard as you want.
Yeah, there's a guy there.
Most of them are going to make, there's a guy there. So, I don't know. Torres and Andujar have been amazing, though. Yeah. I mean, they kind of saved the team.
Yeah. Well, they have saved the team. No kind about it. And I think that obviously Judge actually has been great. And, you can't really be mad at what you got from Stanton. Honestly, he's giving you the Stanton. Here's my issue is, back to Aaron Boone, not to harp on him, but any coach gives you with this amount of talent, any coach will give you what the Yankees have given you this year. Within, say, like a 5-game win-loss, thing. Now, you give Joe Madden this Yankee team, forget about it. This Yankee team, somehow or another, they probably win 105 games, 110 games, or something like that.
Now, of course, I disagree with Randy, because if you kept Joe Girardi there, they probably would be neck and neck with the Boston Red Sox right now, because he relates to those kids. Although they didn't like the pressure that he might put on them, but he asks more of them than looks like Aaron Boone is asking of them.
So he doesn't necessarily relate to the kids, but he gets the most out of the kids.
Yeah, let's say it like that.
I don't know. Last year, they should have won 100 games last year, and they were well below their run differential in terms of their record. I mean, and, like, he also...
They were ahead of schedule, though, Randy. They were ahead of schedule last year.
Yeah, but they still should have been better than what they were, ahead or behind schedule. I mean, like,
maybe not an end result. Right. Maybe in the regular season I could ride with you, and he had the big flub against Cleveland. Yet at the same time, nobody expected them to be within 27 outs of the World Series.
Yes,
and they were. That goes a long ways.
Troll and Terry and I were arguing about it at the beginning of the season. I said the Yankees were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he told me about Houston. I said that in spring training that team was going to make the playoffs, because I just thought that they were better than what people thought they were going to be, just because they didn't know them. It wasn't the names, but it had nothing to do. They were actually, like, really talented. Like, the problem they have this year too is guys like Greg Bird, terrible, and they're sloppy.
Yes.
The biggest thing for me is they're sloppy.
It's not major league. That goes on the coach, though, Randy.
That's the coaching. That's on Aaron Boone.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. To me, that's the biggest issue with Boone, is that, and the coaching staff, is that they're super sloppy.
Yeah, they're not prepared to play.
Sloppy.
That's right. About preparation to play.
Yes, and that, to me, that's the biggest criticism of Boone, is that they're not as disciplined as they were last year
right.
or the years before.
And that's what I think. That's what T was saying. Now, talking about the rest of the league real quick. I mean, I watched that Red Sox come back with my jaw dropped because honestly, I was watching the game. I like those Braves a lot. I like the young Braves. And I don't want Boston to be good. I'm just going to come out and say it. But they're really, really good.
Boston's about to get put in their place this weekend.
They came back, and then Freddie Freeman hit the bomb to put them up. And I was like, oh, here we go. This is the kind of game that the young Braves win that then in turn puts you in the spot where you're like, you know what? We can do it. What happens? Freaking Brandon Phillips comes up. It's a two-run bomb. That's it. Lights out.
Which is a great call by Cora.
Cora.
That's getting paid $800,000 a year.
Not really?
Right. Yes.
Wow, he's getting ripped off. You don't get to say that much about a guy making almost $1 million and he's getting ripped off. And now my thing is, when we're looking at the playoff picture, I mean, the Yankees are in a decent position right now. Unless Aaron Judge, I think Aaron Judge is the one that brings the piece to the dugout because it seems like he brings that exuberance that makes guys say, yeah, he can do it. We can do it. He plays hard on both sides of the baseball, and he can rescue them out of a lot of situations by putting pressure on the pitchers for a lot of other stuff. Now, with that, if he doesn't come back as Aaron Judge, and coming back from a wrist and a hand injury is tough when you're swinging a stick. If he doesn't come back the same way, it's not far-fetched for the Yankees to not make the playoffs or to be in that one-game wild card playoff that nobody really wants to be in.
Right.
And you're talking about the A's who look good. I don't believe, but they look good. I don't believe either. Yeah, I don't believe. I don't believe in their front line pitching. They actually play a tight game, though, in the opposite of what.
And not only that, they play in a weak division. So this gives them the one up on the Yankees because they're going to be playing against Texas.
Yeah, they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing divisional games unless they have to play Houston again. They got nobody else that matters.
Come on, man.
I think this Yankee series, honestly, was probably their toughest on their schedule for the rest of the season.
I think they have to play Houston again,
and that's what I'm saying. Other than Houston, otherwise, Seattle.
They don't play. They play Seattle again. They don't play Houston again.
So they got a chance. They could really, they could control their own destiny. To be honest,
and make the Yankees, as I told you before, young Randy, about the fifth best team in the AL.
They're not the fifth best team in the AL. Relax.
They are, dude.
Trolling Terry.
I know they have issues, but this fifth best team in the AL thing is a little OD. Like, it's a little too much.
I love trolling him too.
Like, you guys are hilarious.
I
think he has your post notifications on, Randy. He just waits.
He has to.
As soon as I see him, I'm like, oh no.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not even finished with the tweet. Kelly's already responded to it. I'm like, what's
happening? Oh, you got your phone cloned. That is hilarious. Well, you know what? Honestly, as of right now, it looks like unless somebody just catches absolute flame, it looks like it's going to come down to the clash of the Titans between the Astros and the Red Sox. Right. And I'm here for it, to be honest. I'm here to watch that series, and I don't want it in 5. I want it in 7. If they give it to me, I'll take it in 9. That's going to be a great series. Flipping
Don't
sides.
rule out the Yankees, though.
I can't rule them out. That's what I'm saying. We're still, honestly, we're still 3 weeks out of making those kind of. I don't like to speak too crazy about baseball because we all know how it changes.
Also, you can't forget about the Indians. I think the Indians could beat the Astros.
Okay.
That's what I believed last year, and they couldn't even get by the Yankees.
Cannot beat the Astros. If you want to go through it, just go look at the lineups. I mean, the Astros has still been winning without the majority of their lineups.
But their lineup's not that good this year, though.
Are you kidding?
Like Marvin Gonzalez stinks this year.
But he's a platoon player.
Huh?
He's a platoon player. He's a utility player. But you're talking about Altuve. You're talking about Altuve, Correa. I mean, George Springer,
Bregman.
Bregman's
going to end up with 35 bombs.
Tyler White is playing first base now as a beast. You have Gurriel. I mean, the lineup is one of the best, and they're going to put the Red Sox in their place this weekend because the Red Sox, you can't match up with them pitching-wise. Garrett Cole is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Verlander has found the fountain of youth. I mean, the only big part, the hit that they took was Lance McCullers. But now they've shored up their bullpen with Osuna.
Well, I mean, we're not going to touch Osuna. I mean, he should be in jail, really. But
but instead, he's closing games.
No, I know.
Welcome to the world of American sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. The Indians lineup is, and once they get Donaldson, remember again.
Yeah, Donaldson's got it. Yeah,
so-
that's true. And now this is something that the Yankees did that I thought was not a good move. I don't think you need Andrew McCutchen. No. Andrew McCutchen has given us in my opinion, Gary Sanchez has given us the Andrew McCutchen, except for Andrew McCutchen was probably the best player in baseball for about 4 years.
Yeah.
But Gary Sanchez was never the best player in baseball, but he had a period where he was really good, and now he's disappeared. I don't know what happened to Andrew McCutchen. I personally have never seen somebody go from being so good to not good in such a short period of time.
Bernie Williams, man.
Yeah, it's super weird. Super weird. Like I don't
understand. Like he got
a vision problem.
It's like it's a vision problem because when he was in Pittsburgh, when he fell off, balls started dropping. And the guy's got crazy speed, crazy range, Gold Glove every year, and all of a sudden he's not getting the balls. And Starling Marte is looking at him like, "You couldn't catch that? You good?" I don't understand.
He's not hitting for average.
No, he didn't get hurt. No. That's what I'm saying.
He's not hitting for average. Right. He's not hitting for power. I mean, he's giving you great 76 work. He's getting 22 bombs.
22 bombs at a 260 clip, 250, 260 clip.
And you can get that out the farm now.
100%.
Yeah.
For a lot less money.
Well, I think if Clint Frazier didn't have the concussions, they wouldn't have traded for McCutchen. I mean, it's just like Clint Frazier kind of like Clint Frazier's concussion kind of like threw the whole plan out the window. Because I think they wanted to I think they wanted him to split with Gardner after a while. But I mean, he keeps getting the symptoms. Like they had to shut him down again. He's out for the year now.
Yeah, he got vertigo, right?
Oh man,
he got the concussion in March. Yeah, like he had it in March, and whenever he would start running, then he would get sick again. So
you remember Nick Esaski that was on the Reds and Red Sox? That's what he had to retire from because he had gotten vertigo and he never could recover.
And that was got Rocco Baldelli too?
Yeah, he got Rocco Baldelli as well.
Seems like it has something to do with fast guys, right? That's the trip.
And Corey Koski.
Oh yeah,
for the Twins and the Brewers. He had the same thing happen to him too.
Hopefully, it won't happen to Frazier because he's way too young for that to happen to him.
And he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
In the National League, we'll sum up real quick. We'll keep you on the line here. Yo soy Randy. Sum up on the National League. It's about to go down. This weekend is really big because the Dodgers got to play the Rockies 9 times before the end of the year, and this is going to determine who wins the West. And honestly, Trevor Story is on fire.
Yes,
on fire,
and that's in Colorado or
out of Colorado. Doesn't matter. Don't cheat him.
He's a 5-tool player too.
He's a 5-tool player, and they're talking about him for MVP at this point. They're talking about him making that this last homestand, making him a surge for MVP. Very, very going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Dodgers, especially because Kenley Jansen is not going now.
Yeah,
because of the heart trust situation. You can't trust him in Colorado because the altitude supposed to have something to do with this heart condition.
It didn't look like we can trust him in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he got it together. He looked bad for the first 3-4 outings, which is 3 or 4 too many. But he looked bad, giving up bombs every single out. I was sitting in the front row. I watched him give up 3 of the 4 bombs. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I don't know if that has anything to do with the heart. T's had a great point, which is like his cutter just isn't cutting, which makes it a BP fastball.
Yeah.
But I want to see what the Dodgers do to try to close games without him in Colorado, because with that kind of condition, potentially that could be something that Dave Roberts has to figure out later. If they do make the playoffs, if they make it, and you have to figure it out.
Well, and Kershaw's on the bump tomorrow, and in those games, they don't give him run support, so that means that he needs to almost go 8 innings, and you need to have somebody that in the bullpen that can shut it down because they haven't been able to close the games out that he's ahead of when he leaves.
I'm all in on the Rockies.
I am really.
I told him the Rockies are real.
That youth movement is serious.
Yeah, it's real because those kids that they have, those pitchers are turning out right now.
You know who's surprisingly suspect, even though he's got good total numbers, is Wade Davis.
Oh, yeah.
You can get to Wade. You can get to Wade late.
You get Wade.
You get freaking Wade. Wade, pass me a beer, dude. I don't like I don't like it when a team has a suspect closer. I have to say, my team or any other team.
Down, and they have
he hasn't been shut down this year. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's got like 35 saves.
That's why I just said. Despite his numbers overall looking good, if you look inside the games, I'd like to see how many games he's blown. I think he's blown 4 or 5 games.
That's really not
bad.
He
hasn't. I think
he hasn't been, but he was lights out. Like
that
he was
a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
but they have Adam Ottavino as well, and he's been shutting it down.
Adam Ottavino's tough.
But I think Davis struggled earlier in the year. I think he's had a better second half.
He has. It was right around the All-Star break, and he seemed like he made some adjustments. I don't know if it had something to do with Colorado or what.
But they got the right coach over there with those pitching with those kids right there because Bud Black loves, and he can cultivate these kids.
Sure can.
He's got them looking
San
great.
Diego
man.
special.
Come on, man.
Now let's sum it up quick because we're going long right now. Who's in and who believes? Milwaukee or St. Louis?
I'm going to go with Milwaukee.
You like Milwaukee,
but I don't feel totally comfortable with that because Wade Miley is their best pitcher. But
you shouldn't feel comfortable.
Then you shouldn't feel comfortable with it. When you put it like that, it puts it all into perspective. I do like their lineup though.
But the good pitching
and Kane are ridiculous.
I mean, and they're clicking now.
Yeah, but good pitching shuts all that down because the Cardinals can come in there with all those kids and they shut people down now. I mean, Jack Flaherty is one of the best pitchers in baseball now.
Mikolas.
Yeah.
Mikolas.
He's been struggling though, but
he got him a dub yesterday.
Yeah, but he gave up like 4 earnings, and the downside.
Got him a dub.
The downside.
Matt Carpenter hit 62 home runs in a month, so it doesn't matter who pitches what.
And the downside too is that they're bringing in Adam Wainwright on Monday. We don't need Waino back in the rotation.
Honestly, that could wreck their season.
Yeah.
I wonder if Waino's going to play the ego card or if he's going to actually play his role. Because I think they're going to give him the ball on as a starter.
He's starting on Monday.
It's not the right move.
That means he gets 2 starts next week. Put him in your lineup.
Put everybody you have that's facing Wainwright in your lineup.
so they can rip his tits.
And bet the over on all the games. He didn't look good at all this year. And I like Waino. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
One more thing, though. What do you think about this Ohtani situation?
You mean letting him play?
No, with the way that the Angels have managed him.
Oh, I personally thought it was bad. I don't think he should have pitched against the Astros. Like, what's the benefit? You're not going anywhere. You know he can pitch. You know he could do it. So just let him get healthy. Just let him hit. I had no idea why he pitched against the Astros. I said it during the game. Like, why was he pitching? What's the benefit?
Yeah.
Like they're not in the division race. They're not for a wild card. They're looking to next year, and now you've removed the opportunity to have them pitch for you next year. You know what I mean? So like now then the question is are they not going to do the surgery at all and just let him be a hitter?
Well,
you know what I mean? It's like
he didn't sign up for that though. I think that
right, exactly. I mean. But
he
also
can swing
hit 2 home runs yesterday.
He hit 2 home runs, and then what T and I were saying is if they would just let the young man play the outfield, forget about it. He's a 5'2" guy. He's one of the fastest guys in baseball. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to watch him on the East Coast much. The kid can skate, man. He is fast, fast.
Oh, yeah, he's super fast.
Super fast. He's got a hose.
Yeah.
He can hit for average. He can hit for power. But now when we bring him over here, he can't hit against lefties. We platoon him. He plays 3 times a week. The kid's got like 340 at bats. I mean, 240 at bats.
Isn't he super young? Like
23.
23.
Put him out there.
Yeah.
Just let him play.
Let him rake.
What does it matter? Yeah, like I don't know why they let him pitch that meaningless game. Like
it's true.
And I think that just messed everything up. Just let his arm heal. Just let him hit. And if you want to put him in the outfield, put him in the outfield. But like, why is he pitching? I mean, you're not going anywhere.
Not going.
So now
anywhere.
you put his health at risk.
It's true.
For a random game on Sunday Night Baseball.
So Alex Rodriguez can bump his gums about his nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what really happens here with Ohtani? He's going to come with a fastball out. See, splitter in the dirt. Alex Rodriguez said, don't even get me started. Ugh. Anyways, Randy, being in the film industry, we always appreciate fellow baseballites, baseball heads jumping on. And want to say thanks for calling into the Ozone. You're always welcome, especially as the hot stove heats up with the playoffs. Otherwise, Terry will see you on Twitter.
I'll see you in a few minutes, dude.
Thanks for having me. Trolling Terry, I will see you on Twitter.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is at Pam's son. If you want to get in on the action, that is at Pam's son. On Twitter. He's a great follow. Check him out. And he's a very, very talented director. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Late.
Randy's great. We got one more call. I think we may have addressed this question, but let's play his call real quick.
Hey, gentlemen. Long-time listener, first-time caller. This is Young Trace, a.k.a. The Real Tracy G, a.k.a. T. Graham, a.k.a. Trey Dollar. But, Shawn, I have a question for you. Can you please tell me why that the Anaheim Angels drafted Ohtani. They had been looking at this man, this young kid, for a long time, for a while, knows that he likes pitching, knows that he likes to hit, knows that he likes to play in the field, but when they bring him here, they don't utilize him like that on a regular basis. Then he gets hurt, has to have Tommy John surgery, hits 2 dingers against the Texas Rangers. Can you please explain to me why they messing this young man up for the future? And let me say this, I am not an Angels fan. I still don't appreciate the way they try to change their name and try to include themselves in Los Angeles when everybody knows Anaheim is about an hour away from Los Angeles. 310-922.
Yeah, make sure you edit out his phone number. Crazy Trace on the line, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my boy.
That's Trolling Terry can't even talk right now. Tracy with a message just all over the place. Thank you, T Dollar. I think we covered all the stuff that you were looking for. Wow. I don't know why you would ask Shawn about Ohtani, but love is love. We're here in Koreatown, so thank you for being a longtime listener and supporter of the show. We got the NFL kicking off tonight, folks. By the time this drops, you will know who's 1-0 and who's 0-1 from the Thursday night game. But we just got so much to cover. Tennis is starting very shortly. I got an upset in New York tonight. I think that Naomi Osaka beats Madison Keys in the semis, and I think she goes on to beat Serena Williams in the finals. I know it's controversial. I told you guys last episode that I believe that Novak Djokovic was going to win it all. We've seen extreme conditions out there, and Federer's out. Del Potro. We're looking at a semifinals, which is going to be great, which is going to be Nadal versus Del Potro and Nishikori versus Novak Djokovic, and I'm going with Novak and actually Juan Martin, and then I'm going to go with Novak for the win. So we'll see what's what there. You got anything else to cover, my brother?
That's about it. We covered quite a bit today.
I know we have to leave football till after the first week, bust it open.
Who you got for the game tonight? Atlanta and Philly.
You know what? I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like we could potentially have an upset on our hands. I like Atlanta. I like what Atlanta is.
I think Atlanta's favorite tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise to me. So we got that. And one piece that I forgot on news and notes is Burt Reynolds, the icon, passed away, ladies and gentlemen. I love Burt Reynolds. I grew up watching Cannonball Run, Smokey and the Bandit, and all of their sequels. And then as I got older, I checked out Deliverance. Man, Burt gave you great movie star stud work. And it seemed like he was never above a job because he was doing TV and movies before it was popular to do TV and movies. Just want to give a shout out and a rest in peace to one of my favorites to watch. I never got to meet him. And that's all right. I want to leave you with a quote, ladies and gentlemen. A Chinese proverb, which is, "The precious stone cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials." We're all in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Omar Miller, and this is The Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream.